All right. Okay. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. And let's have roll call.
Agnes Vornarski.
Present.
Dana Syvertson.
Here.
Peter Hahn.
Here.
John Kamish.
Here.
Seth Marcus.
Here.
I'm Jill Moskel, and Madden is absent, but we
He's
have a quorum.
absent.
Yes. Thank you. Approval of minutes of regular meeting of April 11th.
I make the motion that we approve the minutes as so expertly crafted by Jill.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Great. So minutes approved. Okay, old business. Update on the volunteer workday schedules. So our next workday is still up in the air, whether I think either the SLU or Morava, depending on what the conditions are and what we need.
Talk in the microphone.
Right. I don't know. I don't really have an update on the volunteer workday schedules, unless you want to mention the last one.
Yeah, the last workday was the joint workday with the commission, the Oak Creek Commission, which is further down in there, so we'll just save it to talk about it there. But in the end, I think it turned out to be a successful workday. Where we go from for the next workday is still undecided. It's depending on what the sites are showing us, and that will determine where we go.
Yeah. So one of the things we have to do is still put the interpretive signage up here
Correct.
at Morava.
Mhm.
The two signs, right?
The
Yeah,
two
the two
signs,
big
yeah.
signs. And then there are a lot of buckthorn resprouts too at the SLU. That could be definitely a volunteer workday, unless anybody has other ideas that are more important than.
There's buckthorn resprouts everywhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
They're alive and well and thriving.
Yeah,
Oy.
I know. Well, once we get those interns that.
Okay, let's move on to the public library and the Park District programs. I have not been able to get a hold of Daniel Suarez. I've tried a million different ways. He is just, I think he's interested, but he just doesn't respond to anything. So I'm still in the lurches for the fall speaker. Our next speaker is the guy from
Teresa
Bill,
Grasslands.
yeah, Bill Climate, and he's still on track, so that's coming up in June. We have our first bird walk this Saturday. There's 11 people signed up for it as we speak. There'll probably be more. So I spoke with Mary Lou a lot today. She's really excited about it. She's out birding in Ohio right now. She'll be back soon. So they're really stoked to go out on Saturday. And then the next bird walk is 2 weeks later. I anticipate that one will be filled up as well.
I thought I saw a scarlet tanager today. I don't know if yeah, which I have not seen in this area. A lot of birds coming through. Probably migrating, of course, because this wouldn't be the habitat for it.
Right.
But it was
So
really
this should be
exciting to see.
a good bird walk this Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go through the summer camp for the Park District?
We haven't
Anything to talk about it?
No, because
I remembered that
yeah.
I had this book, Nature Crafts for Kids.
Oh.
So I thought if there's a rainy day,
Yeah.
particularly for summer, what I like is they have here on sun prints, leaf prints. They have make your own kaleidoscope.
That's great.
So we can look through this,
Right.
and actually I think that we could also maybe have it as part of the workday
The curriculum?
too, because what I love here is
Oh, I
they did a twig basket.
Huh.
I thought this was fascinating. It's called a pooter. And it's a device that helps you collect small insects without harming them, but I didn't know if we want our kids to be sucking through a straw and in the event
Yeah.
it goes into their mouth.
Yeah, I know, it's probably not a good idea.
Not the creek water.
But I thought this was interesting, a bug box. And,
Well, I see a lot of really fun things in
a
there
lot of
too.
fun things,
Mhm.
things to do with. I
great.
thought this
Yeah.
was really cool. It's
Definitely.
a beach basket. So just
Yeah, lots
something
sorts of
for
arts and
us,
craft things
arts
that
and
incorporate
crafts.
nature. That's
Buckthorn
really
baskets.
great. Buckthorn baskets, right? Definitely. Oh,
Finally
that's
do
great.
something with that stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start really coming together with a organized plan for that soon, but we haven't been. So
Okay.
maybe we make it a mission definitely for next meeting to have some
Okay.
more concise ideas
Right.
and
The interpretive signage is still right where it was before I had the surgery. We still have those two big signs to put in. If we end up here this next work day, I think that's a good opportunity to do it. It's just 4 posts that have to be mounted in cement, and then attach the 2 big signs to it. So it's all there. It's ready to go. So whenever we can get to it. Earth Week activities mostly got rained out. We rescheduled a lot of things. It was, in the end of the day, it was good, I think. It's always a struggle to schedule things when it's going to be raining. So,
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to learn from this year. It's just events that we put together, and that's about it.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything to say about it?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. Islamic Earth Day event. Somebody else want to cover that?
Didn't we cover that at the last meeting?
Did we?
We did.
We talked about going there, but we didn't.
Oh.
We didn't talk
How it
about
was?
what happened.
Oh, okay. It was a success. It was a very well received event. The people were very engaged. There was a lot of interest from not only the Islamic women but their children. It was really great.
Did we get any volunteers from it?
We had a lot of people sign
Yeah,
on.
this is Ramadan month, and so they said don't expect anybody until after
fasting.
Ramadan.
Right.
So,
they sounded
but
really
they
excited about
definitely
coming out.
expressed
and
interest
The
in
kids were so
coming out.
cute and so interested and so smart, and they were all so interested in everything that we had to
It
show
was
them.
really good. Yeah, I mean, it was
Very
one of
good
the most
vibe.
responsive
Yeah.
crowds we've had for
Yeah.
these presentations
Right.
that we do. It was fantastic,
Yeah.
Yep, sure was.
and the smoothies were really good.
They didn't persuade you at all.
The children were really polite, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
really nice.
it was very nice.
And the parents too.
Your parents.
Children were really
very-
nice, well behaved.
Yeah.
Very
A
good.
lot of questions.
We ended up with 22 new email addresses from that event, so that was good. They've received the last journal and the workday notices and the bird notice. So.
And they've been opening them up. Too,
Right, and
so.
they've been opening them up, so maybe we'll
Well,
see.
and hats off to who got us connected with
Linda
them?
Wasey.
Linda
Wasey.
Wasey, our
Yeah,
volunteer.
I mean,
Super volunteer.
way to go.
Super volunteer, Linda. Yes. Yeah, that was great.
All right, so Seth, you want to give us an update on the Wheeling High School program?
Yeah, it's going very well so far. There was going to be 2 more classes, but there's only going to be 1 more. The classes are not going to alternate, it's just going to be a mix of the students, so they don't want us to repeat the subjects that we gave last week. They want new subjects. And who's going to be there next Wednesday? Joe?
I can be there next Wednesday, but I don't have a
Okay.
topic.
Agnes has a topic of water.
Watersheds. Well, that was supposed to be the last group to tie it into what was at the slough, because this drains into the slough.
Yeah.
And you can see the erosion and the drainage, and you can
Yeah.
talk about watershed management, erosion, all of these things.
It'd be good to bring him here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be good to
Yeah,
bring
that's
them
the
here.
plan.
And then
yeah,
what they can do as far as work is pull garlic mustard, because there's a bunch.
Right.
And then also they can plant some of the plants that they've been seeing and planting, and so they could take some plants, 100 or so, and plant it where they would need to. So that would be the work part, and then the educational part would be to talk about water, where it comes from, where it goes, drainage.
You said that
what
they
goes
would
down your
pull
drain,
garlic mustard and what?
and plant plants.
So one of the issues about the presentation is how we would do that, because we have that nice setup in the garage, so we could do it there and then have them come there and then come over here, or we could just have them come here and somehow do a presentation here, which would be possible but
It
difficult.
takes 5 minutes to get from the garage to here. I mean, just like, we had to drive to the other side of the slough anyway. I mean, that was no big deal. So
Right.
I think, the teacher has them moving quickly. She's well organized. She gets them on, gets them off. We do the presentation there. It's all set up. It's comfortable.
Great,
We
True.
bring them here.
great.
And then if
Okay.
it rains,
Yep, we're still.
You're stuck
then
there.
we got a plan B ready to go.
Transplanting.
And what Agnes shared with me is the wonderful materials on the watershed. At the moment, they're poster boards, and they're pictures of the poster
From the
boards.
library thing that we had up there.
So,
Okay.
there was an issue
Yeah.
about could we convert those to slides, and I can show you, we can forward them on to you and talk about how we can make that into a presentation.
Okay.
Or we have the poster boards.
Or you just use a poster board. But I
Yeah.
guess if I mean
Yeah,
PowerPoint's
you
not
have,
that
you have
difficult.
you've got all the poster boards. You can put them up in the garage and just talk
and
about
just
it.
talk from a poster board, or you
or
could.
you can take a photograph of it and then embed
can
the
just
photograph. in
Well,
the
we have all the
PowerPoint.
files. That's the thing. We have everything, and I forwarded it onto Seth. So every single thing that we had on the poster board is in a file format that you can
Are they
just
organized? Or
be.
is
They're
it
pretty
like-
organized.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean you kind of have to sift through them, but you can. I don't know.
Pull them together from the
Maybe-
storyboards that we have and arrange them. I mean, it takes time and energy.
Right. It takes time to
Um,
do a PowerPoint.
It
But
depends. how much
Depends what
and
the
energy
time.
we have,
Right.
I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the boards this weekend or something, and then we'll see if we can
Yeah.
piece something together.
And maybe.
And if we can't, we'll just use the boards.
Do you want to forward John the stuff that I sent you, maybe,
sure.
just so you can take a look at it, the
Yeah.
files, and see
Yeah,
how it
yeah,
looks like?
I'll do
Okay.
that. And then, so we have one more class this year, and then they're very, very enthusiastic to continue next year. It'll be theoretically a year-long project. I mentioned to them that we're not going to be doing syllabus every week for a year, and they stated that they realized that, and they would be responsible for the syllabus, perhaps with us co-teaching, and so it would be, we would obviously provide work part of the project, but they would provide more of the teaching part of the project. But we would also work with them to make it applicable to what we do. There's also there's a couple of different classes next year. There's an environmental studies class, but there's also a class that's called nanotechnology. But the point of that class is they can do more in-depth things, and they plan on doing in-depth projects with us. So they'll pick a project perhaps and do something really in-depth. Individual students.
Cool.
What
Yeah.
was the other
Great.
class? Nanotechnology and,
The other one's environmental studies.
thank you.
Yep.
I know it's.
And what grades are this?
High school,
I know,
juniors
but
and seniors.
Juniors and seniors.
Mhm.
I just like to interject a little comment over here. It's not on here, but it kind of came up, and it was on the agenda. But we did visit Kelly Funk's class too, this week actually, and it was very enjoyable. She asked us to come a week or two ago, and then just
Where is she?
last week.
Kelly
So
Funk
she's
is
fourth
fourth
grade teacher at Ann Sullivan, and it's the same group. They're doing a whole year-long prairie immersion. And so we've had one opportunity to take them out to the prairie, one opportunity to do an in-class educational thing in the winter about winter ecology, and then this time we took in plants and we had them transplant for about 10 minutes, and then we talked about all of the interactions of insects and plants and the sort of symbiotic and necessary interactions like monarchs with milkweeds and other butterflies that have host species of plants and why they're important. And they had a ton of questions. They were very engaged, interested, and I think it was a good
Yeah, it's
thing.
been a really successful program with those fourth graders.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I should mention the high school students. What a wonderful group! They're just so they have such a positive attitude, and they're willing to sit and listen to our, the education part, and ask questions, and then they're willing to work at the work part, and it's a really good group.
You like using loppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Everybody does.
yeah, the fourth graders would like to go out to the prairie at some point before they end school, which I think is like June 5th or June 6th, which doesn't give us much time. And I'm booked on every single Wednesday for the next.
I can probably steal away to do one day.
I
Try.
don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. They usually meet from 1:15 to 2:15. So
What's the time?
1:15 to 2:15.
We'll take a
So
look at
we
the
would,
calendar
they
maybe.
meet us there?
Meet us there, and then we'd walk over, or either they walk over and meet us there, or we go and pick them up and walk there together.
And when's their last day of school?
June 5th,
June
between
5th.
5th and 7th.
So we got 3-4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, not much time at all. So it would have to be.
Getting tight.
It's getting tight. I'll make sure. I'll double check with her what days, if it's only one, because it's always been Wednesdays. Maybe there's other days too that are available.
Okay.
I'll look at the calendar.
Yeah, I'll
Squeeze-
look too.
squeeze
Maybe I
that in
can.
there somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we'll know about that. Okay, the seed greenhouse program. The weather has been a little bit unpredictable, to say the least. So it's been very cold, and then it's been very hot. It's been really difficult to maintain the temperature in the greenhouse, and we had a couple little snafus, and so generally it's good. There's still a lot of things to transplant. We probably lost about 10% of the seedlings. Poplar Creek's coming next Friday to transplant from 9 to 12. So that's Friday the
4,
19th.
24.
They're coming on the 17th. 17th. From 9 to 12. And then we'll have lunch for them. So they're going to come transplant. We ordered the new trays to make sure that we have.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, for doing that. So they're going to come before they come. And we still have to order soil. Somehow between now and then.
John, I linked you into
I saw.
to Peter today
Yep.
on that.
Okay. This is a response to that.
Oh, wow.
I was just looking at the next agenda item. That's all.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Wait, before we continue, how many plants would you say we have growing in the greenhouse?
Well, outside of the greenhouse, there's about 7,000. And inside of the greenhouse, there's about 5 to 7,000. 5,000 maybe. 5,000.
Are we
Close.
doing any transplanting this weekend? I didn't see
Yeah,
any
on
notice.
Saturday.
After the bird walk.
After the bird
We are.
It
walk.
was part of the bird walk
It was
notice.
part of the bird, but
Oh,
it was
I
at the very end.
didn't.
We should resend that email to just our regular volunteers because it was hard.
Okay.
It was embedded at the last, like it was at the bird walk, so you were looking at the,
Right.
you know, the notice, and if you didn't go to the very end and see at the very bottom that right after the bird walk, there'll be a opportunity
Now
to
you're
transplant.
working.
I'm working.
So
He's
where
gonna
do you
it.
need help with organization?
We're gonna set
or
it all
anything?
up before, so all we gotta do is walk in after the bird walk and just start.
Whoever can make
When
it.
are you setting it up? Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
This
So
is
it'll all be
fine.
ready to go.
This
Do you
is
need any help with that?
I don't think so.
No, I mean all the tables are set up because we
It's all
set up
set up
everything
from
for
the
the
from the high
Wheeling
school
High School,
program.
so everything's
So
cleaned out.
we'll probably work 9:30 till
to noon.
till
to
noon.
noon.
Or if there's, it just depends. I mean, if people, you know, they stay as long as they want.
Do you need to provide treats or anything?
Yeah, maybe some treats.
I can bring some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Purchase some things.
All right.
Yeah, and
this,
this
this is the Saturday, June 1st. We're talking about.
No, this
No,
Saturday.
the Saturday after
Saturday.
the bird
May
walk.
after the
11th.
bird walk. Yeah. And so I will have trays filled, some, but if they're not all filled, you guys can fill trays. I will not have trays filled for Poplar Creek. They're gonna have to fill them themselves because there's not enough time for that.
What is this like connected to? What's it conjunction? What's the event? What's the
The bird walk this Saturday.
no after the bird walk? Or
Transplant.
Oh, it's because
the plants.
Agnes was saying that she's so behind, and
Right.
I proposed having an extra work day, and we mentioned it at the work day, and some of the workers were interested.
To transplant because there's still 5,000 plants that aren't transplanted. So we only transplanted like 60-70% of the plants,
Okay.
and so that's
So Saturday night.
yeah.
Okay.
Whoever's interested in that. Okay.
All right, new business. Budgets and summer interns. John has taken over here on the as
Well,
the treasurer.
This is just as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
As of May 1st, we got a $5,000 city budget, correct?
Yep.
All right. We also got, as far as I know, 2 donations.
No, we have more than, and I've
Okay,
got to
so I
update
need
you
to-
guys.
Update. Okay, so we will
Update
update each
that.
other. Those greenhouse trays.
Wait.
Okay.
So the donations, we
Uh,
gotta,
you have
are
one
the
f-
ones there correct?
Yes, those
But
are
there's
correct.
also the 250 and the 200, right?
There's
250.
250. There's
Yeah.
another one for 100. There was a check from a Tully Park person, and then
Okay.
there's a $102 donation in cash that I have to give to Peter.
$102.
Yeah, the guy gave us a $100 bill and a $2 bill.
Okay. Do we care where it's from?
It's a friend of Mayor Helmer's, and I've already responded to all these people with
Thank
you
All right.
letters,
I appreciate
and we sent them magnets as well. So we
And-
we did reorder the magnets, so we're sort of.
And the 250 came from where?
The 250 is from Mary
Hello.
Mary Ellen Siemens.
Oh yeah, okay.
And what about the husband and wife?
That's
Is
them.
That's
Hi.
them.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Wendy.
Sorry, Mary Ellen who?
Siemens.
Siemens, S-I-E-M-E-N-S. Mary Ellen and Rod.
And I'll have to get you the name of the person with who is this. There's a $100 check donation, and that's one of Mary Ellen and Rod's friends.
This is
Yeah.
Jill's.
All right. So
Keeping me warm.
so
She
the
does that very
the
well.
additions to the budget here, there are 250, 100, and $102
Yes.
donations. 3 more donations that we
Correct.
see.
Mhm.
All right. I'll add those in.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep this running tally. So every meeting, you're going to know what comes in, what goes out.
Yep.
You won't know it unless you tell me.
Yep.
So
Right.
if you receive a donation or something like that, let me know. If you spend money, let me know.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Peter's emailing me now
Right.
with that, and I'll
Right.
keep
Yeah.
docking it from the budget.
Yep.
Is that the
Alright.
amount for those trays?
Yes.
That's the amount.
It doesn't seem right.
Why?
Here's the receipt.
I thought they were $2 a piece, and they were ordering 200. 2 cases. A case has 100.
207.99. I'm sorry, I entered it wrong.
So each case is 100, right? Is that what? Oh, that's so weird. I
You
thought
ordered
that,
them.
Well, when I looked at
$99 per unit plus shipping.
it, right? I just totally thought they were $2 each, and when I put them in my cart, it came up to $400. But I don't know. I'll take a look.
That's not what you had on your invoice.
That's what I had on the invoice. 200 of them.
Yeah, I know, but your total was only 201.
It was ordered wrong.
Maybe, but at least we got 100 for now. That's fine.
Okay.
We can order more later. Okay. Great.
Is this time to talk about Rotary?
Well,
Rotary? Well,
We
yeah,
could-
sure. The Rotary, through Joanna, reached out to us and
That's my
asked,
club.
yeah,
Right.
right, had
I
asked
told Joanna.
for us to put a writing in request in writing and submit it to them. I rather than put that all in writing right off the bat, I called her and said we can't do that.
No,
Our
you-
rules are that we can't solicit donations, but we can apply for grants and receive those. We can accept and receive donations that are made to us, and we can't sell anything, and we can't do any kind of fundraising.
She didn't understand. Okay, you know, first of all, it should. I talked to John Berg, who's the president, and apparently Rodney my husband talked to Joanna, and I thought Joanna understood. What the way it works is that you guys come and just give a presentation and tell us what you do. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you don't ask for money. We
Okay.
just give you money. That's
if
it.
you want to,
So
right?
you don't have to ask. You don't have to put anything in writing. And I'm sorry for the confusion on that. I guess it was. He thought Joanna, it would be cool if Joanna was, you know, because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
she
totally.
went ahead, but she apparently there was a misunderstanding.
So will we
so
know
that's
when?
so we just have to figure
Yeah.
out a date.
Okay.
We meet on Mondays. Now we meet normally on Mondays at noon, but then we meet on the first Monday of every month in the evening at 5:30.
That would be better.
Would
I
that be
think,
better?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe we should do, well, I mean, you could do the beginning of June. I'll be out of town, but that's not really relevant. But if you want to do it that way, I can tell Jen it'll probably be, we meet at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, over by Louis.
Yeah, by
Bartleby.
Louis. Right. So it's not, it's fairly close.
convenient.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
convenient. Yeah.
Great.
So-
Yes, that would be wonderful. So will you set that up? for
So
us, or
if
how
you
do
want,
we-
yeah, if you want me to, so the first, let's see, what date is that?
The first Monday of June.
Yeah.
That
Well,
would be June
they normally do a,
By the way, this is Alderman Wendy Morgan Adams for the videotape here.
oh, okay. Let me, I'll need to confirm the date
Okay.
with them, but let's shoot for, let's see. So the first Monday would be June 3rd. So let me see if that works.
Mhm. Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and set it up.
Okay.
And just get a hold of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I realized that's why I was late, and I apologize. I realized I didn't have. I think I had John's number, but of course you're here, so you're not answering. But I didn't have anybody else's number.
Phone number.
So I want to
Oh.
make sure I got
Yes.
his number.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
give you that information.
Okay,
Definitely.
great.
Okay.
All right. So that.
Okay, the other part of the equation is that
So just so I'm just clear, so when you do the presentation and then we have a board meeting and that's when we vote for the
Okay.
funds. So I'll clarify the date and then I'll find out also when our next board meeting is.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you very
Sure,
much.
absolutely.
Appreciate that.
In terms of the funds here, there was some talk about maybe an anonymous donor funding an intern? Is
Yes,
that-
I was just going to tell you that part. In light of all this and what happened with the council, the anonymous donor came back to us and said, we're going to do it again. So
Has
this-
that been donated yet?
Yes,
It has.
No,
Yes.
it's not
I
officially.
believe it has.
Okay, we're not sure.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know.
Peter
It's
could
supposed to
probably
in
tell
May, so I don't know. Yeah, Peter
No,
would probably know.
I know it's already been taken
Oh,
care
okay.
of. So
Okay.
That's a $4,500
Yes.
donation,
Yes.
correct.
and that gets written to the city, and it goes in our budget.
Correct. It gets tagged in the memo line PHNRC summer intern.
Okay,
So-
and that
And
is
so when people want to make donations, that's the way it needs to be made out
All right.
to the city of Prospect Heights, and then in the memo line it's for
PHNRC.
PHNRC.
Do we do it the same way?
Yes.
Okay.
So, in terms of our, for A and new business, it says summer interns. In terms of our internship program, we want 2 interns. One is paid for by the anonymous donor, and if I'm understanding the math correctly, we have about 1,900 or so.
$1,902 towards
For
the
the
second.
second
So
one.
we're short about $2,100.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Something like that.
Wait a minute, my math is wrong.
Yeah,
19,
20.
and we had 4. It's supposed to be 45.
Yeah.
So we're short. What is that? 2,600.
yeah.
We're short 2,600.
Right.
All right, so we have to think about how we're going to get 2,600. Just
Right.
keep that in mind.
Right. All the more reason that I'm not sure we can offer an internship at this time. Like, I don't know, unless we want to discuss the interview process and everything
When did the interns have to start?
as soon as
possible.
as soon as possible.
End of May.
And nobody can
End of
come
May.
to like a noon meeting, right? Or is that going to get you in
It's
earlier?
difficult right now, especially for me because our company's been sold and we have new owners and
And you're
a
meeting for-
totally different world.
So our normal
So-
meetings, they meet every Monday. Like I said, the only
The-
meeting that's in the evening is the first Monday of every month, but
Oh,
normally it's a noon meeting, like well, 12:15 is when they normally
on
meet.
Mondays.
On Monday. So I mean, it would be a short presentation. If anybody,
We have several canned presentations we can present.
yeah, I mean,
I
anybody
And
who would
is
be
this
available.
more or less like a budget and needs presentation, or something
No,
that?
no, it's not a budget presentation.
Well, I mean,
No,
it's
like
like
what we do,
It's
just
simply,
what we
simply
do.
what you
Yeah,
do,
okay.
and
our internship program and how
But do they need
wonderful
to
it
know
is.
how much money?
I think, John, if you
No,
think
no,
of
it's
it
not
as
money,
one
it's about what we do.
presentation.
It's just
Okay.
what you
Just
do,
about what we do.
and that you would have, and that.
No
You don't
begging
even have to
around.
say the word. Just say this is what we do.
Got it. All right.
And how long would you expect the presentation to be about?
I mean, it could be like 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be real long. I
Think
mean,
of the
people may have some
presentation
questions, so
as
maybe half
Islamic
hour
Center.
altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if
Could we-
anybody's
Right.
available for a short time in the afternoon, it'll be faster to get you in the afternoon.
So I could,
I'm typically booked. I don't know until like the Sunday night before if I'm open on a Monday at noon. So,
Right.
I mean, I could get a Monday at noon, I could make it happen if somebody,
Could you?
could you?
No way. I'm covering 3 offices.
She's 3 offices for the next month. So
Well, if you want to talk.
we'll talk. Like I said, I won't know. Are you meeting this Monday? This Monday at noon?
We should be meeting this coming Monday.
Okay.
So
I mean, I could get in, I have work, but I could do it, go back, come
Right.
from work, go back to work, and just,
Yeah, I'm usually
Yeah, I mean, I
far
don't
away.
think in the overall scheme of things it's gonna make too much of a difference in the decision.
So
to-
we'll figure it out
Yeah.
either whether
Well,
it's this
but you
Monday
need
or
to
the
have
following
these interns
Monday.
start,
But
and if they could help
Yeah.
bridge the gap.
somebody
at least,
somebody
that
can
would
get
help,
in there.
right?
Yeah.
Probably.
tremendously.
But we could definitely. But we could maybe even.
Ed's off the
Have 'em
table too. He
started.
can't do these things on Monday at midday,
Mhm.
right?
No, you can't.
All right. Well, we'll figure that out.
Okay, just let
Cool.
me know. I'll give you guys my number. You give me yours. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All
All right.
Great.
So maybe we could interject here. I mean, is there anything else about budget at this point?
As long as they got all this, just so far, these donations have been already submitted to the city, and they have it earmarked for us. So
Yes.
okay, so I'll enter it on our running work list here, and this is why I put this together so that I don't want to miss anything,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
That's why I set it up
So,
with Peter. So
yep,
anything he
perfect.
invoices, he copies.
Yeah.
just the other part of the equation then will be expenses. So
Mhm.
once
Yeah.
things
Right.
get, if it's let me know.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
All right. Did you have something else, Wendy, that you wanted to?
I think I think what it was, I had some questions that I've resolved them about
The
what these
waivers?
waivers, and all it really is is that it's just the council approving a waiver of liability. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I don't, it just, at first I was confused and there was some issues with the prior council, but those issues do not seem to be present now with the current council.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Right.
So I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it was.
The origins of that waiver,
Uh-huh.
I believe the attorney for the city council
No, so-
crafted that, didn't it?
No, it was
Okay.
one of our commissioners was an attorney, and she crafted it, and then she ran it by the council, the city attorney,
The city attorney,
the
right.
city attorney, and I don't know if it was formally approved, like in a vote, but I mean it was approved by the city at one point,
and I
and the
think-
park district.
And I think, the city attorney is reviewing them and seeing if they need to be updated or amended.
right.
But I don't see a problem at this point. It was just a question of having it done, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Right, officially.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I think
And
that should be okay.
we retain all those forms. So.
Right.
Okay.
Peter had in fact, I'll give these to Peter.
Is this
tonight.
kind of waiver for each event or just
Just for each
Each
employee.
person.
each person?
Yeah,
And that's
each
good
person.
for a year or forever? Or?
No, it's just good for that time period they're working, that's all.
Right, so like every other Sunday, if someone comes to work, they
Well,
have
no,
to sign.
when I mean time period, I mean if it's an internship for the summer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right,
Or a
right.
volunteer.
Or
I-
volunteer.
The way we understood it is once a volunteer signed the waiver and they came back 2 weeks later to volunteer again, it was okay because they've
covered.
already signed the waiver.
Right, right. You
Okay.
don't need to keep signing
Yeah,
it every time.
right.
No,
I
no,
don't know
okay.
how long it's good for.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's great.
All right. Moving on then to the commissioner's monitoring program. I'll start with the Prairie. We spent time out there last Sunday on the joint work day. It looks really good.
The west side.
The west side does. The only place we found any kind of invasive was in the area that got mowed 2 years ago. That there was disturbance weeds in there still, but they're like way reduced from last
Yeah.
year.
There was just patches of
There's
thistle.
not much of
Nothing like
no-
the East Side Peter.
yeah,
Because Peter
okay.
and I spent a whole day last week herbiciding the thistle and the invasives on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that. There's probably like, I don't know, you can count.
It's amazing, actually. And the
It's
only
very
place
different, very
if you
different.
look at the yards that border the Prairie, they all have dandelions. If you look at the Prairie, there's no dandelions in the Prairie except where they mow the path.
Right. Because they
And
tolerate
so
mowing.
It's a mow happy plant.
Are
Yeah.
they going to mow those paths pretty soon?
They will, but the problem they have is it's so wet.
Getting in.
They're going to get stuck, so they want to wait till it dries out.
Yeah.
So we've already had that discussion.
Who mows the side? Is that Park District or
Park
city?
District mows they mow the side on the bike path, the buffer against the houses, and the path is Public Works.
Okay.
So, two different entities.
Okay.
Park District does the bike path on their own schedule. We typically just work with Mark to let him know when to do it. So,
Yeah.
okay. Marava, Peter, you got anything on?
Yeah, I was here yesterday and about a week ago. A lot of branches down up on the top side there. The trail needs a lot of wood chips because it's so wet and they're just about all decomposed now. Big problem is erosion on the creek banks. It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know who to talk to on that, or
Well, at some point we're going to have a presentation to the Park District about it because it really is problematic.
I
You're going to
think
have to
it's-
decide what to
yeah,
do.
it's getting into the slough, and I think it's starting to block up underneath Elmhurst Road there. All this sediment's going that way.
It
Yeah.
is.
So erosion.
Well, yeah.
Major-
we'll try to
major
do as much
problem.
As we can, but it's, when you get the flows so high, it's difficult without it being very expensive. Yeah.
Other than that, looks great.
Did you happen to take a look at the plantings?
Well, I
of-
mean, the
Yeah, I
question,
did.
Yeah.
if the natural history of a creek or a river is to erode, that's what it does.
Yeah.
So do you just let it
Well-
erode and do its thing?
Yeah.
But it's an unnatural amount of water
Yeah.
that's going into it, so it's eroding at a much
What-
greater rate too.
always-
What
I
I've
know,
noticed
I
that
know.
that other side over there, I don't think it's ever been touched. But this side here, I think when they did the tennis courts in the parking lot, they pushed fill over the top, so you can see clay
Yeah.
on top of the regular topsoil, and everything is just sloughing off. The slope is so much greater on this side than on the other side. This is where we get most of the erosion on this side here. So it has to be, a slope back a long way to get
Right.
that 3-to-1 slope.
3-to-1 grade, right? To actually make
Yeah.
a
Well, we talked
to
about
prevent it.
doing that by hand. Perhaps
But
having
not
a
on
work
that
day.
It is so much though.
not that
Over
that
there, it's
particular
probably
one.
a 10-foot drop,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
almost straight
We
down.
need heavy equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be something that we
That's
could
yeah.
do.
I think that would be a city expense.
So, yeah, the park district has to
The
be
park district. I mean, it's
involved.
their.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, we gotta
it's-
see how much they care about it, right?
Talk about it.
I mean, this would be a park district issue then?
Yes, it would be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And the plantings up by the baseball diamond there,
Yeah.
they're coming up
Oh,
a lot better
good.
than I thought.
Yeah.
But they still have to put fill in there, and
Right.
there's irrigation line to
Yeah,
go
I'm
through.
gonna take a look tomorrow.
But it's not. It's better than I thought. I thought we lost probably most of it,
But they're coming up.
but
Yeah.
some, not a lot. But
It's alright. We'll make up for it. It's fine.
Okay, thanks,
That's
Pete.
it.
John, do you have anything?
Heron
Heron
Pond's
Pond?
underwater. It's always underwater.
Yeah.
Um,
Recently.
so yeah, I mean pretty much every week. There's a lot of buckthorn growing there.
Okay.
A lot of tons of resprouts. So
Any
it's-
nice things coming up?
Yeah, you know, a lot of the stuff that we planted is there. It needs to be cut back though and trimmed, and you know as far as the buckthorn and some of the other
Right.
invasives back there. There's some trees down and stuff again. You know, things are falling, and here there's a brand new tree that's down on the pathway over here too.
Yeah,
It's blocking the.
oh yeah.
Is that something that can be removed
right
by
behind
hand?
the knot dump.
Yeah.
Does it need a chainsaw? Or
Huh?
can it be removed by hand? Or does it need a chainsaw?
It needs a chainsaw.
Okay.
There's a lot of work up there.
Yeah.
Big branches.
Oh wow.
Maybe on Saturday and do the other stuff.
Or we make the next work day here.
Yeah.
Do you guys handle, I mean, I got some emails from some of the residents on my ward about Prairie, you know, with the, it's near the ComEd line.
Right.
That's, you guys handle that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess they're all bitching about the weeds and the this and that. And I'm like, but that's part of what an area that you deal with, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you can kick them straight over to us.
Okay.
Glad to go out and visit them, talk to them in
talk
the
to
field
'em
or
and everything.
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Talk to
Nice.
them.
Resident, concerned residents
Right,
about
concerned
the
residents,
prairie.
yeah. Seth, do you have anything on the remnant or anything?
I think you mentioned you might take over the remnant.
Yeah, he was gonna
I
be
was just through there.
butterfly.
Okay.
That's underwater also.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
a slough. So
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's
there-
underwater.
It's hard to, you know, things are
Yeah.
growing and stuff, but it's
That's
actually,
okay.
I didn't see as much buckthorn resprouts and stuff there, or the teasel. I mean, we really knocked that stuff out pretty
Mhm,
well.
We really did.
Yeah.
So actually, probably all the sites that I've been looking at, actually that one's holding up pretty well.
Yeah.
But again, it's just slopping through a bunch of water right
Right,
now.
I
so
know.
it's-
The slough. I mean, I think all the sites look better generally overall, and everything's improving because with time and plant succession, everything's just and burning and doing the restoration practices that we're doing. That's just what happens over time, and it gets better and better. So I feel like all the sites are better, but it still needs a lot of work. It still needs a lot of work.
It's gonna dry out first.
It's
That's
gotta
for
dry
sure.
out too.
Okay.
Yeah. Peter, are you available tomorrow?
Yes.
9:30
Yep.
or 9? Okay.
Yep.
And I did not go out. I still need to go
Yeah,
out
we
with
need to go out
you
together
so
so I
that,
can show you.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
a large area, but I
Yes.
would have to schedule that.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good. We'll do that. Okay. Skipping over proactive nature management plans
Right.
for now and city civic meetings. Ad hoc Willow Road Committee. Is there a next meeting?
I haven't heard a date.
I haven't
No.
heard.
Okay.
Nope. I mean, are you guys going to be present for that?
I'll be present for it.
Okay.
In fact, if there's any room on that committee for another person, I would volunteer my services to
Yes,
that.
John lives
Okay.
on the lake,
Oh, okay.
right on the lake.
So there is a subset of people that's not represented on that lake.
Well, that's not good.
Right. And
They're
I'm
being
in it.
excluded. They get
That's right, I remember because we were trying to get you on.
So they're being excluded from the conversation.
So yeah, I don't know where that's going,
I'm
but
going to talk to the mayor about that.
okay,
Okay.
yeah. Oops, excuse me. That's me.
So there's no meeting scheduled that
For
we
now.
know of.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
McDonald Creek Commission meeting.
They canceled their April 23rd meeting. It was an oversight.
Okay.
So their next meeting is end of May.
Okay.
Okay.
You have anything on the Prospect
Park District.
Park District?
I did actually speak with Christina, and she mentioned that if we wanted to approach the Park District Board for a budget consideration for next year, that it's something that we could start working on, and she could help us with that, and then we would maybe present like in November to them, December, and there's actually like a whole formulary and so we should definitely be working on that this summer.
When would we do it in November?
November, their budget is like, it goes through in January. It's on a different schedule than the city budget. So we would work on that throughout the summer and then present it, maybe do the first presentation in November, and then if they need any follow-up so that's one thing. And the other thing is she encouraged us maybe to do sort of another presentation, also it doesn't have to be right now, but about sort of the activities at all the sites and the management plans. And we have that already because we presented it to the city, the management plans for all of the sites. We did that, last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. But the management really remains the same. It's the same type of
Yeah, we
restoration
can
activities.
just represent it.
Represent it maybe with an updated version so that they're completely aware of like what the plan is, and if we need any more engagement from them.
Yeah, it's really an articulate plan. It goes through the seasonal workload, and it's very clear. So
When do you have
Yeah.
to apply for the grants?
March 15th is the deadline
Okay.
for the ComEd grants.
yeah, we've missed that one this year. So
Right.
But we're gonna hit it this year.
next
Right.
year,
Well, yeah,
This-
we have
Right.
Yeah.
next year. So yeah, and so previously what happened was, I guess somehow it coincided that the Park District had their budget meeting in January, so they approved that. And then the city, I don't know if I'm not sure because I know that their budget doesn't get approved to April, but maybe there was some way where they set aside the money for the grant, and so we were able to apply by March 15th. And whether they just pre-approved it before the actual budget approval, it was set aside for that amount.
Okay.
Right.
But
So
then
that's
it
how that
wasn't
worked.
done this year.
No, because and the Park District didn't want to apply for.
They
Well,
didn't want-
neither entity wanted to apply for a grant this year. So
And I understand
then-
it could be flexible, like it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a certain
No.
specific amount.
no, it could be even.
So there's no reason why it can't be done.
No, and it doesn't have to be two entities either.
Okay.
They like it when more because it just shows that there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of
Right.
different
right? I
organizations
mean, for
interested.
instance, you could match it with the Rotary Club if the Rotary Club said.
Well, no, there are specific.
Oh, are there?
Yeah, there are. It
Okay.
has to be an organization. It has to be. It can't be
It's an
a
organization.
non-for-profit. It can't be
It's not
a.
for profit.
Yeah, but no, I have to read you. But there's
Okay.
like 3 different things. Maybe, possibly. I'm not saying no, but it has to.
I
But
mean,
there are
if it could-
restrictions.
If it could be, there
If it
we
could
go.
be. Yeah, totally.
And then
Yeah.
I have a meeting with Christina on Monday, so if something comes out, I went to the hospital these things as well.
I mean, it could even be $2,000 matched by $2,000. It doesn't have to be because we split it up so that it made more sense for everybody to contribute $5,000, and then we get $10,000 from ComEd for a total of $20,000, which you can spend over 2 years because it's an 18-month grant. So by the time you find out you got the grant in June, you don't have to expend funds until the next December. So you're basically
Oh.
going through 2 budget cycles. So you
That's
have
nice.
right. So you
Yeah.
have that 20,000 spread out over 2 years. But of course, it's for a project as well. But we
Right.
always incorporated materials and plants and seeds and everything into that, so that it
Okay.
really sort of lasted us a while. But it could even be like 2,000 from just the city, and it's a 2,000 match grant, or it could be just 2,000 from the Park District. But it's all they'd like to see the partnerships between different organizations, or it could be 3. It could be Rotary Club, city, and Park District.
We should
Yeah.
explore that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes,
cool.
I think it's
Okay.
a great idea because then they're pretty easy to get, and we've had so much success in the past, and they actually came to us, and so
Okay.
they were happy with us. I think it'd be
Okay.
good to get. Yeah.
Consideration of the meeting locations. As much as I love doing the outdoor things, I really do. I think it's too much to ask Patrick
Yeah, I think so too.
to keep doing this. So maybe we just
And I
move
think
them back to
and
the
it
city
can be a
hall.
little bit like distracting, and then next month probably mosquitoes come out. And I know
Great idea.
John's always been against the outdoor meetings, even though he loves the outdoors, just not for the.
I love that.
It was supposed to be 70 degrees
Not
today.
I
for me.
know.
It's just too many.
All right,
too
so
many
we
things
have
going on.
we
Too
have
many things going
consensus on
yes.
that. All right,
Yes,
so
let's
we'll
just make it indoors. We can.
Okay.
Yeah. Finally.
Okay, the community days, Jill and I are doing that for sure. I don't know if anybody else.
Try.
Peter, okay.
I can't.
And we have to bring our own table, if I read that
Yeah,
email
we just got
correctly.
that email today, and I forwarded it to everybody.
I have 2 folding tables I can bring.
Well, we
Yeah,
have all-
we
we
have
have-
tables and
we
we
have
have the
tables,
canopy too.
We got chairs and we got
Canopy.
pop-ups. So
We have
got all that
everything, and
stuff.
then we have all the stuff. It's just a matter of loading it, bringing it, setting it up,
Yeah,
and
we'll
then
be
being
there.
there. We'll have plants too.
Okay.
We'll make sure that
So start noodling what we want to do there and what we want to give
what
away.
other things.
Yeah,
It's from when to when?
it's 9 to 12 basically.
It's
Yeah,
part
setup
of
is from
the
8 to 8:30.
Lions Club
Pancake breakfast.
pancake breakfast at the firehouse. Lots of kids, lots of families.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's not as
Nice
well
event.
attended
As a block party.
as a block party. So
But it's still a nice, very nice event and very enjoyable. And
I think I
Okay.
might bring Bella because I think she might be an attraction for people to come to our table.
Sure.
there you go. Yeah.
And we should have Flora there.
For sure, there we'll see.
it depends.
Um,
Okay,
Block
so the
party.
last thing is a block party.
Yeah.
That's June 22nd. Plans are in the hopper right now. We have all the boards. I think probably need to be redone for that. But John has all the.
I have some.
I
of-
will
Familia?
definitely not be here for that.
Yeah, I know that.
Are we gonna be here
Yeah, I'm getting married 3 days before that.
Oh, congratulations.
yet? Oh, right. This is 17th, right?
Right. So we're back. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
back
got it,
in
got
time
it.
for that.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
But I think that you should have help at that time because of the plants we give away and not have you scurrying to make more.
Right.
So we definitely have to talk.
Yes.
But then if you're going to be gone, but we should
No,
talk
we'll
about.
be. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
we
be
should have
here.
the
We'll
sick
be here.
packs made
Right.
before.
So
But we
we
should
do
help you
But
to-
each year we increase the amount of plants, and then so we say, okay, well we're gonna do like 100 more this year because they all went last year, and I had to run home and get more. And then that year we run out, and I had to go up and get 100 more. So it's like
Well,
it
but I
seems
don't
like
want
they.
you doing that
yeah.
work all by yourself.
Oh,
we
yeah.
should have it prepared. And,
Sure, absolutely, definitely. Thank you, I appreciate it. That would be great to get it all. Yeah, so we don't run out of plants. Okay.
Okay. Visitor comments.
I think we've talked already. We're
Peter,
good.
nothing from Peter.
Get you into a warm
Okay, I make the motion that we adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.